Hello everyone, welcome back in Tech Session 20. So guys, today's session I'll show you end-to-end setup cloud infra by using Azure, Azure DevOps CI/CD pipeline, Terraform, IAC and module and AI Copilot here to integration with VS Code to generate your template and helping to troubleshooting and documentation here, right? So this session, like I divide it in multiple parts. So you continue watch this session and understand end-to-end setup for infra deployment by using DevOps CI/CD approach. So first in this session, if I'm talking to start new project, let's say you are working with a new project here or any other project that you are planning. So make sure you follow the same pattern or you just update according to your project requirement. Okay. All right. So if I'm talking to first point of this session is a project setup. So project setup means first you are going to start your deployment infrastructure by automation approach, right? So make sure you are clear the project requirements. So requirement may be there which tool they are using. They are using Azure DevOps. They are using like GitHub Action or GitLab, right? Any other tool that you are. Second is which source management tool they are using. So either Azure DevOps Git they are using or GitHub they are using or GitLab, right? So that also need to be more clear before going to start the approach of solution designing and the deployment, right? And also you need to start understand the project, understand deployment approach, whether they are following the multiple subscription or they are following the environment based deployment like DevProd or they are using like primary or DR option also. So based on that you can configuration accordingly, right? Once you are clear all the requirement from the project side, from the leadership side, and you are also clear the strategy approach what they are going to start. Based on that, this approach will solution go for the designing part because make sure you are following the same pattern before going to start development, integration, and configuration, right? So in the next one, once you are ready, yes, all setup is there, environment clear there, infrastructure is a tool, which tool you are going to use, whether you are going to use Terraform, whether you are going to use ARM template, whether you are going to use Bicep. So based on that, you can take a decision, right? And once we finalize, yes, cloud service we are using, let's say Azure, AWS, which service we are going to follow, accordingly you decide it because that is part of your project setup or understanding configuration requirements, okay? All are coming in the part of project setup. And once we are ready and we are going to for the designing part, yes, we need the designing especially for infrastructure and solution designing. So we are focused on the DevOps solution designing pattern here because ultimate our goal here to show end to end, right? So only we focus on this area here for this session. So here if I'm talking to CI/CD tool, so CI/CD tool we are using Azure DevOps, and the cloud tool if you are talking to cloud service, so we are going to use or consume the cloud service Azure. And the integration part, so integration you can use either SPN service principal or you can go with the workload identification, but current timeline is best approach is here go with the workload identification because it's very best solution to no need of secret to rotate and every timeline. But SPN if you are going to, we need to take care the secrets and need to update and also need to take care by admin team to rotate password and maintain password, that is also overhead. So but if you are going to workload identity, there is no workload, just integrate one time, it will take care, no need to maintain password and every time, okay? And third one is going to infrastructure as a tool. So here we are using Azure DevOps. You can go with the GitHub Action, GitLab. Based on your solution approach finalization, according to you go with the tool. So this is the next tool and coming to next. All right. So next tool that I'm talking about the infrastructure as a tool, right? So here I'm using Terraform. Similar, let's say if I'm talking to other like or needed a business use, so they can use the ARM template or Bicep. But Most of the project for the current trend, they are using Terraform, right? So Terraform we are using as a infrastructure as a code, like IAC tool we are using here, that will use to provisioning your infrastructure and showing as a declarative language right here. After that, coming to the developer side, so developer side, or who is development the infrastructure code, so we are using VS Code. Basically VS Code here is the editor tool where you're developing your solution in by using Terraform here, right? So you need to install Terraform, some of the prerequisition on your laptop and integration with your VS Code, and clone your source management repo. So if you are using GitHub, so you need to integrate GitHub branch with your VS Code and then install the Terraform prerequisition on your laptop. Then you can start to development, right? And the next one is a GitHub Copilot. So you see, we are also using GitHub Copilot in solution. So GitHub Copilot is needed here because it will help us to generate Terraform code, also create a template for us, documentation and troubleshooting. So that is our main purpose. So it will save our time and efforts. Let's suppose if I are going to write a module from the scratch, we'll start to understand, learn, develop, will take a time. But if you are already aware the Terraform module structure, how to use, just simple ask to Copilot and it will generate for you, right? And also once you are ready, and then simply you can save your time. So you're going to, let's say, develop 10 modules. So if you are going to manually develop from your side from BS and then go to right, may take 2 or 3 days, right? But if you are going to ask Copilot in simple from chat window, so simply I already explained the last, right, how to integrate your VS Code and how to install extension Copilot and chat as well. So that you'll simply update your VS Code and install the extension as well, and then start to integrate with your repo, right? And you need to use your authentication and plan. If you are using personally, yes, you can use free tier, but free tier has some limitations there. You can decide based on that. But if you are using professional or pro and other version, of course they will provide enhanced and additional functionality and chat timing and all. So based on that you can decide. If you are, yes, of course you are working for organization, yes, you will use professional version or enterprise there. So based on that you can decide. You can leverage multiple modes and modules are there, you can decide it and start your learning. After that, once you are ready integrate here, you start it. Then next need to be decided where you need to set up your configuration in the module branching strategy. So next one, before going to storage and all, I'll go for the branching strategy first. So third one is like we decided to which source management we need to go, and we are also ready, and then now need to finalize the strategy of branching. So which branching strategy you are going to use, master, develop, future, but most of the project are following this pattern here. So master, we are talking to stable production ready code, so we will go for the master is needed. Yes, some of project using main also we consider as a master, and then need a development branch and then future branch. So if I'm talking to master, it is a stable production ready. It is means final code we are using in master. And developer, if I'm talking to development branch, so it's integrate branching for strategy or testing purpose. Yes, it is based on the master in content latest tested code based on your all future branches. Let's suppose you are working in the future branch continue development and changes and multiple times you are using you. So make sure individual developer need to create your own future branch and start your development, writing and everything. And once you are finalized, like testing is done, now need to merge your change into development branch. Okay, this is the flow process need to follow for the branching. Let's move to next one. All right, so now you are clear, right? The branching strategy, master, develop, future. Master would be the final code, that is a stable or production ready code. Okay, future branch, your continue development, and each individual, let's say 4 development or 4 developer DevOps team are working, they create their own future branch. Okay, they can start development, testing and anything. Once their development code is ready, like they are saying like is a final and testing is done, just merge into your development branch. After branch, let's say development and test integration branch strategy testing is there and you are ready, then contain latest code based on all future branch, right? And after that, once you are ready, like need to merge into master, need to raise a PR based on the tag. So you need to create a tag and update accordingly. So tag one process will come up to later, but yes, you can merge based on your tag. So master and develop would be the up to date, okay, based on your final changes. Coming to back to in the design part, okay. So your branching strategy ready, your code integration, your tools ready, and now coming to a module structure, okay. So once you decided, yes, we'll go for, so we need to follow the repo structure as well for Terraform. So how we'll design the structure here. So we'll go for the third page. So here is the directory structure. If I'm talking to repo structure, you are following. So directory structure here, let's say we decided to create infra automation is a project us here, and we are defining here the pipeline, template, variable, and Terraform module, root child module, right? So that need to be designed look like here. In session, you see the top up is our project name, infra automation. Here we create a pipeline, and pipeline side we have three pipeline. Backend setup pipeline deploy, other is infra pipeline deploy, third is infra pipeline destroy. Okay, three pipeline we created. These pipeline would be top up templates. So templates here we have a two template backend setup, template Terraform code. Okay, so template basically our main configuration, all these stages, task, job, and the parameters, dynamic configuration, all are taken care by the templates. So best practice here, the template can be reused, right? Let's suppose we are going to create more pipeline. So main codes or designing condition, all the gates would be part of the template. Pipeline just calling to our template, that's it. Okay. Coming to next variable. So we also create one more common infra variables file here. Basically this variable file will take care of your all common variable. Example, your project name, your region name, your like tags you are using, business unit, cost center, whatever is more like common, that simply you can pass from variable is a common, and based on that is a common. It's not like your project specific dev prod. Okay, so we are not taking care here. It is a common related to your tags, business unit, or some other detail like environment detail, that also take care from here. And coming to next one. So next one talking to is just test script. So it's just simple I created here, is no needed here, but yes, this is also same like pipeline you can create like this. Okay, coming to next environment we created here, like we have a dev environment. In the dev environment, first we have a folder name is environment, inside we have a dev, then we create a backend.tf, dev.tf bars main output variable. Basically we are using here as a environment deployment. So this is the root model we consider, or is environment based deployment. Similar for production, yes, we create here backend.tf bars main output. Similar, if you have any like any other environment, similarly you can just add here in the same folder structure and start your configuration. And after that we have a module. So module basically are main modules. This is our networking, storage, virtual, and this is a common module. It's not any specific environment, it's common. So that module you can call either production environment or you can call to development. So that's module is a common, and that we can use to configure a resource configuration, right? That is a folder structure we can use for the repository side, right? So once you finalize like directory structure for Terraform and root and child module, now you are ready for the setup the next part. Okay, so coming back to next and the top design architecture here, like we did the part all the configuration, BS integration, GitHub Copilot and Terraform, and also design the directory structure for root and child module here, right? So that module, child module and root module you can reuse for other project as well, except TFR configuration. So TFR configuration you need to use based on your project specific. So that detail you can update according to next project. But your module and directory structure pipeline, yes, that definitely you can reuse for other project as well. Okay. Coming to next part, the blob storage. Once you ready, like all the configuration ready, now you need to set up the blob storage. So yes, blob storage needed on Azure side so that you can store your TF state file. So once whatever you are ready TF configuration part tab, make sure you need to store on the backend side. So backend is blob storage we are using. Inside blob storage we are creating container, and then we are storing your respected environment TF state file. Dev will be separate and prod would be separate. Okay, some other scenario is here. So storage also you can use per environment specific, like say dev you need to use separate storage, and similar for production. But for the cost saving purpose, you can also use common storage account as a backend, either in a specific subscription that taken care by security or infrastructure team, so they are managing. Yes, of course you can use this storage in central subscription there, right? And that subscription you can create same container will store two separate TF state file, or you can create two separate container and same storage file to maintain TF state file dev and prod accordingly. Okay, coming to next one. So we finalize design, we create the repo structure, and now Terraform module we also provisioning declarative, and we also decided to use best practice to reuse and secure IAC, right? We are also managing version control to manage to protect our TF state file, because that is our main infrastructure core file. So make sure need to manage by best practice and also enable the version control and all details. Okay, make sure to protect it by read lock and all, so that need to take care. Okay, coming to next one. So Copilot also already explained to integration with your VS Code, that will help you to code generate and documentation and troubleshooting. So that will save your time and effort, so easily you can start. So Copilot will generate, but you need to finalize and accept based on the configuration whether is expected your project or not. So that need to be validate and review before going to accept the Terraform configuration. But of course it will definitely help you to code generation, documentation, troubleshooting purpose. You simply ask to Copilot and then it will help you for your project. Okay. Finally, go for the integration part. So integration already explained to Azure and Azure DevOps. Either you can use SPN or workload identification. You can go back in my previous session. You can learn how to set up the SPN between Azure and Azure DevOps. All right. Next is DevOps CI/CD pipeline setup. So pipeline design already explained, like how you follow this structure here. But yes, pipeline will use to integrate and automate build and workflow that you can use and continue delivery and deployment. And DevOps, Azure DevOps you can use as a pipeline setup. So here you see we are using three pipeline. One is backend, other infra deployment and destroy. So backend basically set up your blob storage to store your TF state file. So basically that pipeline will take care to create resource group, storage and container. Okay. And the second pipeline will use that storage, resource group and container, and then start to deploy resources and update TF state file and that container. And third one will destroy your infrastructure cleanup. Let's suppose you are ready to validate all these session, and now you decided, okay, we'll not need these resources. We tested them and we optimize our cost. So simply go to run this pipeline. It will destroy your resources whatever you ready. But ideally this pipeline needed only for dev and testing. Okay, not for production, because destroy is not needed to delete every time. Okay, production would be of the final resources, that is not needed. All right guys, so this part is related to CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so now you are clear like which pipeline and what the purpose we are going to use, and now you are ready with the designing, repo, branching strategy, and also ready the flow, designing pattern and all. Right, so you are ready now, and tools final, everything is finalized in this session, and now you are going to for the code side. Okay, It means designing and finalizing approach and all. Everything is finalized in this session, and we'll go for the next session related to actual deployment by using Terraform and all. Yes, I cover all these part in the part of separate session, but in the end-to-end one, I'll show you how you will start the deployment and the Terraform module provisioning and all, and modules all there. I'll explain the detail window. Okay, so that's it guys for this session, and we'll show you the next session related to VS Code, Terraform module, pipeline structure, and then start to deploy one by one pipeline. And the integration part also already covered in the last session, but in the overview purpose we'll show you definitely in this one. Okay, so that's guys for this session. I hope you learn this session, and will definitely you go for the next session. And I'll request you to please do like and subscribe this channel. Okay, thank you so much guys.